Hello everyone, how are you guys doing on this fantastic day? Today we are going to be doing honestly just an overall review on what swords I believe you should use and are the best, obviously, and what armors, more so legendary armors I think you should use, because it's just, I don't know. A lot of people have a debate between the Onyx armor and the other armor. However, there is obviously one winner among the two, no matter what anyone says. So, of course, the favorite blade that I would recommend going for is either Solaris. Absolutely great weapon. The scythe is just really good. It has amazing range. It multi-target is in all aspects. It does a lot of damage. It's a great boss killer. The second one I would say would be Imperialist. Imperialist is very good. It has a chain lightning attack and it does high amounts of damage. It is easy to link mobs together, and that makes rooms clearing way easier whenever it is a higher level. Now, whenever you're going for skills, you're going to want to go for stuff such as recovery or dodge, health, stamina, or even sometimes critical. The reason you want to pick these is because 99% of the time you are going for survivability and overall just damage. Great, you can always hit with any of your special abilities, and you can just kind of combine them all together really nicely. So dodge allows you to go on further within the match without getting hit. Say you get hit one time, it sometimes does not count, and it saves you a lot of HP later on. Recovery makes your skill cooldown way lower if you get at a high level. Health is obvious, and so all of those just add DPS and survivability all together, and it's truly amazing in every way. It is all helpful, and honestly, it's just some of the best stuff you can go for. However, sometimes you are stuck in sticky situations where you have to pick things that are not those things, and I mean, it kind of sucks. However, there are some other things that are decently good. Out of all elements, I personally choose Frost. It slows the enemy down, and it seems to be pretty decently good. And the other thing I would suggest is at least one spirit add-on. So like an extra spirit upgrade will be like sometimes given to you, and each spirit you have will increase your speed. And if you get certain abilities such as lifesteal or things such as spirit damage, you can either use them to do more damage or use them to heal. In my personal opinion, lifesteal is completely useless, because why would you get lifesteal when you can get something like dodge or something like health or stamina? There are two different types of spirits as well. There are regular and there are boss spirits. So as you can see behind me, well, not anymore, you can get these little circles, and I will show you in just a minute here whenever I get one, but you will get little circles behind you that follow you basically everywhere you go. They're kind of cool. They're shiny, they're pretty. I like them a lot. Appeals to me, I'll tell you that. However, boss spirits are better, just in every way. They are better, and they look cooler, a lot cooler. They're darker orange, they are like more detailed and like more spherical. Throughout the game, you will be tasked with fighting multiple bosses, so keep in mind that parrying is not the way to go. It is all about dodging. That is why you want your stamina. Dodging is 900% of the game. It's all about dodge, land a hit, dodge, land a hit. If you can dodge, you're fine throughout the entire game. You can probably solo heroic with a wooden sword as long as you can dodge. However, parrying is not exactly perfect currently, and there are so many different ways that you can mess up parrying to where it's just not worth it. Some of the parrying hits don't render, and same with some of your regular own hits. Whenever you're hitting enemies, it just doesn't render, which kind of sucks. A lot of people have complained about that, especially on things such as bolts. Bolts can be very annoying, and they are, I gotta say, out of all the entities in the game, the most annoying one, because they are just in the way, they dash, and they stun, and they can be overpowered. Many bosses, such as the giant goblin, are easy to fight whenever you have stuff like this, especially, oh my goodness, Okay, especially whenever you have stuff like this, because you have more survivability and it's just giving you more time to kill him, such as I just showed you. However, I might die. So I got pretty low there, obviously. However, I didn't barely have any of the things that I'm looking for. So sometimes you have really bad luck with runs, and as I just displayed on the screen, you can see some of those hits just not rendering perfectly or whatever. So in this situation, I would not want help. However, I am running this in gold armor. I have terrible luck, and I cannot drop the legendary armor for the life of me. Now, if you look behind me, you can see what I was talking about. The spirit souls. You can see the little spheres, right? They're very cool looking. However, I don't have a boss one behind me, and they just all in all look cooler. And honestly, I recommend using them to your advantage every bit you can, because as you can see, I'm just enhanced with my speed currently, and it just makes everything so much quicker and easier. Now, there are things also, like I said, mentioning the bolts. See how he is doing so much damage. I'm pretty sure you can just like kind of dodge out of the way and jump over them. That's an easy counter to them. However, then you still got these mages on you, and it's just a pain, and I'm about to die. Yep, I'm so dead. However, there are many different counters to bolts, like I said, such as just dodging past them, jumping over them. However, if you have a stun weapon, there is one downfall to the stun weapon, and it is that if a bolt is in the middle of a dodge or a dash, you cannot stun them. They will dash first and then stun. So there's nothing you can do about that bolt rushing at your face. Many people do not like that. I dropped an infested blade. I do not like that. So, like I said, number one would be the scythe, which I don't even have, because you can only get it out of tier 2 chests, which by running heroic, or you can get it out of your daily rewards, or just, running heroic and it dropping from an enemy, which is very rare. It is ridiculously rare, and it's rare for even an Imperialist to drop. However, I would say the scythe is first, then the Imperialist, and then I would give the Nightmare Blade the cake. Now, the Nightmare Blade is special for many different reasons. One, as you can see, it's not bad on damage whenever you have it maxed, or whenever you just get it level 4 or 5. Another special thing about the Nightmare Blade is that the Nightmare Blade will have decently high crit, and it can stun for 5 seconds. Now, that is the second highest stunning weapon in the game, other than the Tester Blade, which is an admin or tester exclusive, which you cannot get anymore. However, it is still very good. The Nightmare Blade is amazing, and I think also bypasses the damage of the Tester Blade. I could be wrong on that, but I am not sure. However, third, I would give to either the Ninja Blade or the Wing Blade. Now, these are both very good blades. They swing fast, they're one-handed, they're easy to learn and use. The Wing Blade is very overpowered for killing bosses. It has a stab ability, which does a lot of damage, and overall does quite a bit of damage whenever you just have it maxed or have it high level. However, whenever you switch over to the Ninja Blade, you can see it's already doing decently high damage. Now, when you get that max, it's going to be doing a lot of damage with 30% crit, which I think is actually insane. However, the only downfall with the Ninja Blade is you are getting sent straight into whatever enemy you're going towards. So if there are mages, you're most likely going to get hit by their orbs. The thing with this is, though, that it hits 2 times. It swipes first front and then back. So the Ninja Blade is a very good substitute if you don't have anything too great. The Forged Steel can be pretty decent. It's just, the Forged Steel in general, it has a good ability. It does decent damage. It's just not your best option. It's good. It's not great. The Shadow, I've never personally used this weapon. I don't see any use for using this weapon. It's slow, ineffective, and does not do a lot of damage. It's not terrible, though, I've heard. It has a poison blast. It's not horrible. The Buster Blade is decently okay if you know how to use it. This is the same way with Imperialist. It basically does the same endgame damage as Imperialist, just a little less, as you can see. However, it does not have a lightning strike. It has a big old ground slam. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, the ground slam kinda sucks. I don't like this blade. I absolutely hate it. I don't even really like using Imperialist. However, I use it. only due to the fact that it can clear rooms super quickly. Otherwise, I would probably be using Nightmare Blade. Now we're going to move down to the Blood Sickle. The Blood Sickle has decent damage, but the thing that stands out about the Blood Sickle is the crit damage. Crit damage goes up to 45%, or the crit chance goes up to 45%, and the crit chance is just, I mean, that's a high crit chance. Who doesn't want high crit chance? The Wing Blade also has this crit chance, which I don't know if you guys have seen, automatically overruling Blood Sickle's damage and crit chance, which is amazing. That Wing Blade is just completely a beautiful weapon. It is great whenever you have it maxed, and honestly, probably up there with either the Ninja Blade or the Nightmare Blade. However, like I said, once again, the Infested Blade, I just don't recommend anyone use it because its ability sucks, its endgame damage sucks. I hate to tell you, but this is just a waste of a legendary, and it's in the way. I think that this could possibly be maybe a rare weapon or a common weapon, if that. It's a terrible blade. I don't like it. It should not be a legendary. However, we move on to armor. Now, obviously, the main armor you want is Elder Armor. It is the speed set. I do not have it because I am not lucky. Now, the second best is Onyx Armor. So, the reason Elder Armor is better than Onyx Armor, yes, you guys might be like, oh, but Onyx Armor gives more. It only gives like 20 more HP whenever it's maxed, and it gives like -3 speed, I think, compared to the other armor. The other armor adds speed to you, and it gives you 20 less HP, but that's still, like I said, 20 HP, you're not going to care about 20 HP. 20 HP is 20 HP. Now, after all those, I would have to go to gold, but eventually gold, if you're unlucky like me, can start becoming worse than iron armor, which, you know what, it's really bad. I'm about to get to that point where I'm going to be wearing my iron armor, because my iron armor is almost better than my gold armor. Actually, I think it is better than my gold armor. Let me see here. Yeah, it most definitely is better tan my gold armor. However, we're not going to talk about that because, you know, that just shows how terrible my luck is. Anyways, well, after this whole update that's coming out, there's going to be so much more just coming through. I think there's going to be a lot of new blades. I think there's going to be a new boss. I'm excited for it. So I'm going to be saving up chests and probably making a video on that whenever it does come out. And I also have a buddy who wants me to open up 1,000 of his chests. So that's great content for later on. And I hope you guys look forward to seeing that. And if you guys want to see anything else, you guys can feel free to leave like suggestions in the comments. I'm more than happy to answer questions or make ideas for videos. I really find this game enjoying, so I just want to build as much as I can off of this game. So again, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you had a great day today, and thank you guys for everything. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys later.